Yes, friends. So you see now a view of the theater of Dionysos. Now this picture I have taken from the temple of Athena, standing there at the end of the wall, and I have taken this picture looking down on the theater. And here you can see, I don't know if my cursor will show. Is my cursor showing you on this thing? Anyway, you have the amphitheater, which is the seating arrangement that you can see in the horseshoe shape. You see, the theater of Dionysos is a horseshoe theater. Sometimes some theaters are almost circular, but some are half circular like this. So you see them here, that there is a seating capacity, maybe 6,000-7,000 people here. And right in the middle, there is a big area which is the dancing floor. This is where the chorus came and danced. And on this side towards the town, where you can see the trees, the long big cypress trees, you see some steps and some stones there with some carvings. And these carvings are the sculptures of different gods and goddesses and scenes from Greek Puranas or Greek myths. Now this was what was called the stage. The technical name for the stage was logion. Logion, that is from where you render logos, or the word, the speech, shabda, from where you sing or where you recite or where you speak out the poetry, the dialogue. Now you can see that this is a very small area. It's an extremely small area as compared to this huge dancing floor. The dancing floor is 100 times bigger than the stage, so to speak. And around the stage, there is no green room, there are no wings, there is no construction of any wall or anything else, as you see in later theaters of Rome. I wanted to send you a picture of a Roman theater, but I could not. Here, when a Greek would sit, let us say where you see this couple standing. Do you see this couple standing? If a Greek audience in ancient times, a man or a woman was sitting there and watching the performance, what would he or she see? He would see, or she would see, the actors on the logion, or that small strip of a stage. He would see the actors dancing in the dancing floor, and right at the back he would see, now you have the trees, but probably then they would not even have the trees. You would see this vast valley and the skies. Now every Greek theater is made this way. Every ancient Greek amphitheater is carved out in a location from where, along with the dancers and the actors, you see far back into the horizon. Maybe sometimes there is no horizon, there are only mountains, as you have in the theater of Delphi. If you are sitting in the theater of Delphi, then you'll see the great mountains. But they are vast mountains and the skies. And here you would see right up to the sea also. What does that mean? that means something very important. It means that whatever is being performed, whatever is being presented before the audience, whatever the actors are saying or dancing or telling as a story about men, women, gods, creatures of this world and other world, whatever they are doing is one small thing located in this vast universe. Do you get my point? Can somebody say yes?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what you see physically, you are able to see that all human activity is something very small, located in some very small part of the great cosmos. So the cosmos, the creation, the sansara is massive. It is huge. And we, as human beings, are very small. And whatever we do, which is reflected in theater, because theater is an imitation of life, as Aristotle said, that it is mimesis, which is imitating life, what happens in life in the world. But whatever happens in our world is a very small thing. Now, the art of the ancient amphitheater, as cultivated in ancient Delada, was exactly this, that they made it so obvious that whatever is being done by you and me is something very small in this great universe. And that is why all the stories of ancient plays show the smallness of man. Now, the smallness of man does not mean the cowardice of man or the helplessness of man, but it means that in spite of great effort, in spite of massive heroism, he or she cannot go beyond a point, and he or she has something much greater, much bigger, much huge as compared to her or his power, and he or she has to acknowledge that. So that was the great message of ancient Greek theater. Shakespeare put it rather tragically, as flies to wanton boys are we to gods, they kill us for their sport. Now that was just one aspect of what the gods did. Of course the gods gave great booty and great rewards also. But then, whatever they did, whatever they promised to us, is to us, the human beings, who are very small, and our place in the universe is small. Now this is a radically different concept of what is man or what is human as compared to, let us say, the modern times, where we think that we are at the top of evolution, that we are the great intellectuals, that we are the highest in the intelligence world, etc., etc. So this is the sharp contrast, but this is experienced not only in the performance but also in the very layout of an ancient Greek amphitheater. That's one point. Now friends, those of you who are a bit acquainted with dramaturgy or principles of the art of theater would agree with me that any performance that takes place in any part of the world, it is dependent upon the space where it is performed. Let me repeat. There is a performing space. In drama, there are two sections. One is of people who act, the actor, actresses, performers, right? Ethiopios or Ethiopioi, as they said for the Greeks. And then there is the audience. The audience is sitting and watching. There is an allocation of space for them. And then there is allocation of space in that theater space or that amphitheater or that whatever is the kind of theater for the actors. Now here you can see that in an ancient in an amphitheater of Greece, the largest space is given to the dancing floor, orchestra as it was called. Today, of course, in English, orchestra means a bevy of musicians, people sitting and playing just music, Western orchestra. But that's not the real meaning. The Greek word is the dancing floor, and the people who performed the dance, that was the orchestra. Now you can see that for those who are going to speak the dialogue, there is a small strip called the logion, as I said, the stage, let us say, in our modern language. And the dancing floor is almost 100 times as big as the stage. What does this mean? It's not that these people made some kind of a mistake and went on doing it for centuries and centuries. No, they knew very well what they were doing. They're conscious of it. And they did it deliberately. And their whole art form was governed by this. So what this means is that the role of dance and music, that the role of dancing, singing, and showing gestures while you are dancing. Sir, can you replay, go back to that picture? Because that helps me talk about it. Now I am only seeing your faces on my screen. How do I go back, please? Can anybody tell